And I'm Ripley.
And I'm John.
And this is Comicsplaining.
The show where Pluto doesn't even fucking go here!
God, I know, right?
He's not part of this pantheon. Why is he here?
He doesn't even go here.
He doesn't even go to this school.
Do you happen to remember why he's here?
No. Odin's dead.
Yeah, that's true.
Odin is very, very, very dead.
Dead
for good.
forever.
Not only is he nearly dead, he's really quite sincerely dead.
Yep.
What is that from?
Wizard of Oz.
Really?
Not only is she really dead, she's really quite sincerely dead.
Huh, I don't remember that
The
at all.
Munchkins in the Ding Dong the Witch is Gone.
Oh.
I see we've got a death off going on up here in the upper right corner.
Yes.
Off?
So that is...
Oh!
Yeah.
Yeah!
Well, that's what happened. So, but, before we got there, other things happened.
I remember a lot of things happened all at once.
I don't believe
really
that.
fast. Which...
That doesn't ever happen in Thor.
I don't remember anything. It's been longer.
It has been longer. Okay, I'll tell you. So, Thor and the Warriors 3 made it to the Twilight Well.
Right, the Twilight Well.
And Thor fought Kartag.
Right,
Mm.
and they went in the water.
They went in the water.
And Thor had some kind of vision.
Right.
And then, Odin was fighting
No.
Mangog.
No.
Oh,
What happened after Thor had a vision?
I don't remember.
There were things that happened after Thor had a vision?
Yeah, so they came out of the water
Right.
and they found out that...
Odin has to die.
No.
Or, no. Odin can't be stopped from dying?
No.
I don't fucking care.
They found out that Kartag's bosses are the Norns.
Oh, right.
The
Kartag's bosses are the
Norns.
Norns.
We just...
So...
The Norns...
Yeah, the Norns showed up, and the Norns decided, okay, to something. Like, okay, this is right.
Yeah, we can
This
save
is-
Asgard, basically.
You're worthy, we'll do that. Meanwhile, Odin, moved Asgard 5 feet to the right.
Yeah, he did.
In a really dramatic train of events.
That was ultimately pointless.
Yeah, and then he died anyway.
Well, after they talked to the Norns, they got water from the well, and then they went back to Asgard.
Right. They had the well, they got the skeins full of water.
Right. And then they were fighting the Mangog, and Thor was like, Volstagg, take the water to the other water. And Volstagg was like, okay, but he was scared, but he did it. And then the water exploded, and Odin used the water to make Mangog stop happening.
Yeah, Mangog, he just took all of the anger, he let Mangog peter himself out.
So,
he just, untied the balloon.
You mean the second of the three things that make Mangog, which the first of which has already been removed, and was what defeated him the first time.
Right.
When we thought that was all he was made of. No, he's made of more things than that.
Yeah.
And he just kind of let him poop himself out.
Yeah, but he died in the process.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened. Why did he die?
He just, used all his energy, I guess.
How he works.
Or
Okay.
Mangog hit him once, I don't know. Mangog had the Odin sword.
Oh, right. Ragnarok was going to happen, but then it didn't.
Yeah.
Because they pushed the sword back in.
It's
After
fine.
Mangog actually drew the whole
He did. He
Odin sword.
fully drew it, and he was using it to beat the shit out of Odin.
But immediately, that's how Odin died. He used all his strength to put the Odin sword back.
Yes.
Does that mean it's all good?
Yes, Ragnarok is not happening anymore.
Yeah,
the sword
everything's
is fine. It's
fine.
Everything's good.
Everything's
Odin-
fine. Nothing to see here. How are you?
But Odin was dead, so they had a funeral, and then Thor was like, we're still in transit back to the place where Asgard is supposed to be.
Yeah, we're just gonna gloss over the fact that we need to move Asgard back.
Well, they already started it. It's just in the process.
Meanwhile, Sif and Hildegard are doing something.
Yeah,
With fast time on a weird world.
Sif and Hildegard.
Right, they fought the incels!
Yes, they're on a place called Black World, and they met this guy named Silas Grant, and also Tana Nile.
Yeah, Tannenile was there and she was looking less freaky.
Oh yeah, and she's afraid of him.
Him. A mysterious him.
Who we have not met.
But the very last thing that happened is, because they're still in transit, Thor was able to freeze the time around Odin's tomb so that Hela couldn't claim his soul. And Hela showed up and was like, you need to give me Odin. And Thor was like, no. And she's like, okay, well, that's a problem because Pluto is also here to take Odin's soul.
Oh, so that was
I missed that.
That was all last minute stuff.
I missed the whole Pluto is coming thing.
I might be wrong.
I don't remember that.
No, that didn't happen. Well, okay, let me say that again.
What a good ex. I'm so good at this.
You're amazing. I'm gonna have to retake that because I just gave you spoilers.
Okay.
On accident.
He was on the cover, so...
Well, yeah. I just got all my shit mixed up.
It's all good.
So the last thing that happened is, because they were still in transit, Thor was able to freeze time around Odin's tomb so that his soul can't be claimed.
That sounds right. That sounds right.
Yeah.
For a few minutes while they're moving?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, he froze the time around his tomb, so...
It's fine! It's
indefinitely.
Fine.
Well, I mean, but if it only worked because they were moving, it still works after they stop?
No, because
Thor has time travel powers.
Listen, the reason he could do that because they were moving, which meant that Hela had not yet claimed Odin's soul.
Oh, got it. Okay.
So the soul was still there, so Thor was able to do something to keep it there.
And because Thor has time travel powers.
Yes, as we all know.
And it's very important to remember, Thor has time travel powers.
This is a less annoying use of his time travel powers.
What, instead of discovering...
Fixing everything.
Storylines.
At least he didn't go back in time and make it so Odin didn't die.
He could have.
But he did accidentally go back in time and almost make his mom not fall in love with us.
God.
Wow.
Almost have sex with his own mom.
He did go back in time and almost bone his mom, so...
But, you know.
Sometimes you're Marty McFly.
That's where we're at, and we're gonna read Thor number 199 from February of 1972. Written by Jerry Conway, penciled by John Buscema, inked by Vince Colletta, and lettered by Sam Rosen. Now that everything is settled and Asgard is safe, Kartag must return home to guard the well. Thor sends him off with well wishes, having made a new friend and comrade in arms. However, as the keeper disappears, the Thunder God wonders if this was a mistake. He's going to need all the help he can get if he's going to save Odin, after all. It's too late for regrets, though. Kartag is gone, back to the side of Citrina, who needs him in her own way.
We have an appearance from the Royal Vizier.
We do. The Royal Vizier approaches, commending Thor for his wisdom. He says that Asgard will need this quality in the days to come, which Thor takes as a grim reminder that once Asgard reaches its destination, his father will likely be lost. The Vizier apparently didn't get the memo about this, so Thor explains the whole deal about how they were in another time or dimension or what the fuck ever, and Hela didn't come to take Odin's soul, so while he was killed, he's technically not dead yet.
Yeah, so I guess Hela's not taking calls from wherever they were. The reception was no good.
I like the idea that Asgard just leaves rainbow beams behind it like a fucking unicorn or something.
Yeah.
Like a neon cat.
Like the dramatic bitch that she is, as soon as Thor says her name, the death goddess appears with a blinding light and a fog machine at her feet.
God, she has actual fog coming with her.
Comes in because the pyrotechnics start behind her.
The other Asgardians lament the situation, but the Odinson still has some tricks up his sleeve. In order to take the Allfather, she first has to be able to touch him, and as she confidently strides toward the tomb, she is suddenly struck by a mystical force field which Thor created. Hela must give credit where credit is due for having not only the ability, but also the chutzpah to bar her path.
She's like, you little twerp!
Yeah.
However, she absolutely insists that Thor has to yield the Allfather to her. When Thor asks why, she just points past him, out to the distant sea, where upon a longship manned by his own
Holy
demonic
shit, that's
servitors,
cool.
Oh dear.
the god Pluto comes to claim Odin's soul by force.
I'm into that. I like this look here. This is fucking cool. This is a cool panel just in general.
The Grecian moors his ship and stands before the thunder god to make his demands, which basically amount to, give me Odin or I will have my army kill all of you. Hela's like, see, this is why you have to let me take your dad's soul. After all, Pluto's underworld is nothing like her domain.
Why are there so many? Why is he? How is he?
There are dogs in...
His is a place of torment and misery, where all exists to serve him alone. Therefore, she delivers two options. Give her Odin's soul, or let her fight to defend said soul from the invading Olympian.
Is that true? Because, I don't know if maybe that happened somewhere in the mix between Greek and Roman mythology, but...
I
They're
don't...
playing Hades.
That was never the impression I really got off of any Hades other than Hercules.
No, I don't think that's actually mythologically the case,
No,
but Pluto is a
think so.
villain in the comics, so he's gotta be...
We're playing fast and loose with mythological accuracy as it is.
Yeah. So Thor declines the first option, predictably, but is more than eager to allow the second one. Pluto is somehow shocked that they didn't acquiesce to his demands, as Hela calmly summons her sword.
That's a big sword.
She's a big lady. Meanwhile, on Blackworld, we are finally going to see who he is. Hildegard points out that what Tana said indicates that the Regelians are responsible for him, but the colonizer is like, oh, what's that? Sorry, I'm busy shooting my gun over here. As a monstrous man made of crystal rounds the corner, trampling cars and buildings in his path.
There he is.
That's him?
That's him.
I don't know. I guess I was expecting
There he is.
something else.
The ray gun is doing absolutely jack shit, so Silas leads them all into an alleyway. He has a local's knowledge, though
Does
he doesn't understand how he knows anything when the world keeps changing like it is. Sif would also like to know what's the deal with that. Tananile explains that it's his doing, the being called Ego Prime, whose touch swiftly evolves the world around him, changing everything completely out of her control.
Ego Prime. No relationship to Ego the Living Planet, huh?
It's fun you should say that, because that name also catches Sif's attention. And Tana confirms that this being is a piece of the living planet.
God damn it.
Broken off from the whole.
I guess Thor didn't say he couldn't bother Blackworld.
Well, it's not actually him, it's just a piece of him.
Okay. How'd he break off?
I don't know.
Okay. I accept that answer. And then he broke off this stupid fucking crystal dude.
He popped a pimple.
Yeah. As the creature nears, Hildy starts to draw her sword, but Tana insists that fighting is futile.
She may be saying that resistance is futile.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's exactly what she said. Sif doesn't agree, but thinks they should run for now and try to come up with a plan. They all run down into a nearby subway terminal.
Tie his shoelaces together. That'll do it.
Where Sif ponders this turn of events. Odin sent her here to protect her, not knowing that such a danger lie in wait here. Still, she wonders if there might not be some purpose to this, as she notices a nearby poster shift to display a car ad dated for 1964. She's gripped with a sudden panic as she asks what will happen when the timeline of Blackworld becomes concurrent with the timeline of Earth. It's a good question, except for the more immediate issue of Ego Prime taking the entire tunnel down on their heads.
Yeah, you're a little obsessed with this,
So he just kind of just kept walking forward. I don't even think he broke anything. That's just from his size.
No, I mean, he's not it's just him walking through the ground.
Yeah.
Basically.
He's too big for the, subway.
Yeah. Back on Asgard, the Death Gods clash, the force of their blows hurling back the watching armies.
Never have I felt the need to fight a woman.
Yeah, Pluto's being weird.
Yeah, hey,
but you're trying my patience.
Hey, Pluto, shut up. Just don't talk. You weird man.
Baldur alerts Thor just in time as the troll army. You ever
Lord.
notice how it's always trolls? Like, no matter who it is, if someone is leading an evil army against Asgard, it's always trolls.
Why does Pluto have trolls?
Right, it makes sense when Loki does it, but why does Pluto have trolls?
That's not Greek.
Yeah, Greek trolls.
Anyway, the troll army was trying to get the drop on them, but gets called out just in time, and then proceed to get trounced by Thor. Baldur's holding his own too, until one of the curs hits him in the back, knocking him flat out.
Oh my god, this is
did
every
not know-
fucking time.
I did not know he could be not hurt.
No, this is a thing I was about to say. We should add this to the bingo.
Baldur
Baldur getting hurt.
Baldur got hurt.
Even though he shouldn't be able to get
got
hurt.
a boo-boo.
Baldur gets hurt.
No, we've gone over this several times. They just ignore that Baldur's supposed to be invulnerable. It happens like almost every fucking episode.
Because, like, guys, there are ways to neutralize Baldur. But hurting him...
Well, there's one way, specifically.
Yeah, but, I mean, there are
They
other
found
ways.
other ways, like tying him up to
That's
a
true.
giant stick.
That's true.
You could just, I don't know, hover him in the air with wind. What is he going to do if he's just in the middle of the air?
Face him with a deer in need of his hoof being bandaged.
Yes. You could threaten someone he cares about. There's a lot of things you can do to make him harmless.
No, he just got hit in the back.
You're pulling from the Superman playbook.
It works. He's got the right spirit for it.
No, I can see it. I can see it.
The invaders move on, and in their wake comes Karnilla to save her lover with a gentle caress. Baldur stands and prepares to return to the battle, but she refutes him, invoking the oath that he swore to her. It's an oath that he cannot keep. To stand by and watch his people suffer when he could help is simply not in him. So with tears in her eyes, the Norn Queen orders him to go and never return.
They're just gonna be this couple that couple that breaks up and gets together constantly, aren't they?
Yeah.
Of course they are. That's obvious. What about Baldur breaks up with Karnilla?
Yeah.
Baldur hooks up with Karnilla. Yes, Baldur-Karnilla relationship status change.
No, Baldur-Karnilla relationship status, it's complicated.
There we go. The melee has reached the Warriors 3 now, each of whom is eager to take out some trolls.
Of course they fucking are. They never saw some trolls they didn't want to trounce, right?
But none more eager than Volstagg, who leaps ass first into the fray to the
Wait.
shock of his buddies.
Wait,
What's the name
Volstagg...
that's the name for that, the Bunker Buster?
Volstagg has gone berserk, of all things. I didn't know Volstagg was bloodthirsty.
Fucking cannonball!
They ponder this change in disposition, noting that ever since he delivered the water to the Vizier, the Lion of Asgard seems somehow different.
Almost
though-
lionish?
As though he has recalled his warrior spirit.
Excellent.
Thor is also fighting, and that's about the extent of his appearance on this page.
It is.
I think the Warriors 3 are throwing it up, though.
Absolutely. Fandral throws his sword like a spear, which is not how you use a sword.
I mean, it works.
It doesn't, though.
It works once.
Okay, but he's a god, though, right? He's super strong.
I suppose. And it is a magic sword. Alright, fine. You get a pass this once, Fandral.
But also, I'm not sure he's getting it back.
Yeah. Hela and Pluto seem to be evenly matched, and the latter is pretty peeved about that, given that he's a horrible sexist. Seeking to gain the upper hand, he strikes the ground with a bolt from his axe, which...
Trying to overtake this girl boss.
Yeah. He strikes the ground with a bolt from his axe, which summons forth a bunch of stretchy red arms to grab at the goddess. She calls these the demon hounds of Hades.
They don't.
But no. I don't know what that means, because they are literally just arms coming out of the ground.
Well, those are not dog paws, for one.
No.
Bad touch.
Anyway, yeah, now that Hela is grappled, the Olympian moves in for a killing blow, but finds his axe striking only smoke as she teleports away.
Nice.
He laments being robbed of that victory, but swiftly turns back to his ultimate goal.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Now,
awesome panel.
Now there is no one to stand in his way. No one but the god of thunder, of course.
Illuminated by a crackling bolt of lightning behind him,
As
leaving
he
him
should
cast in shadow. Yes.
That's a pretty dramatic panel.
That's excellent. And for a thunder god, abso-fucking-lutely.
And he says, the god of thunder dares.
Fuck yeah!
Metal. With one mighty blow, Thor destroys the army at Pluto's back.
Let the bodies hit the floor!
And sends him to the ground besides. Pluto is like, yeah, okay, that was pretty good, but you still can't beat me.
I don't know.
And Thor says, then get thee up, braggart. Let us test the metal of thy words.
Get off the ground before I turn you into a fucking tent peg.
I can just start hitting you now. I could do it. I'm trying to save my dad here, and you're kind of in the way of that. I'm not going to go easy on you.
Pluto stands, and as he does so, his form is engulfed in flame.
Nice. Is that on purpose?
Yes.
Good.
I would hope so.
I mean, it's not how... Something could happen. In the comic book, you think someone would just show up and put him on fire?
He moves toward the Thunder God, who whirls his hammer to snuff the blaze. But it was only a gambit to get in close, as the Death God uses his axe to knock Mjolnir away.
Ooh.
Thor isn't going to stop just because of that, though. He tackles the Greek, grabbing him in a crushing bear hug to, do something. I'm sure he had a plan there, but it doesn't work out because Pluto is still a death god, and with one touch, he drains the Odinson's vitality.
Ooh.
Oops.
Yeah, I don't know how you thought that was gonna go.
Our hero falls to the ground, still as the grave. Pluto stands over him, reveling in his victory. Now he will have both the Father and the Son as his unliving slaves, and with their power at his command, he will become Lord of all. He raises his axe overhead and chops Thor's head off.
What?
Despite trying the Liefeld trick here, his legs are still fucked proportion-wise.
Yeah, actually. What's going on with his crotch?
What's going on with the length of his thighs? They're so short.
Yeah. He doesn't chop Thor's head off, by the way.
What? You mean this isn't the end
How
of
are you
Thor?
gonna fucking spoil that for me? We had a whole nother issue, folks, but I guess we can pack it in here.
We know Thor doesn't die.
You're gonna
At least not specifically by decapitation.
You're gonna find this next issue very surprising.
Uh,
What would you guys rate this one, though?
That was alright. 3.
yeah, it was not terrible. And
It was a little all over the place, but there were some really nice metal moments and a little bit of the soap opera, which I always like a little soap opera.
there's definitely more potential in the writing than there used to be.
I'm having fun. I'm liking it. It's a little out of nowhere, but I'm into it.
This isn't whatever stride that this is going to get into, if it's going to get into a stride, but I can feel that there could be a stride.
We're
that this
still
gets
at the
into.
beginning
Yeah.
of Jerry's run.
We're that train going from the station, and it's
He's
just
still figuring out what he's doing with Thor.
building up ahead of steam.
I'd also give it a 3.
Alrighty.
What did
was
CMRO give it?
3.5.
Alright.
Okay.
You're not too far away
Wait.
from us.
What? The special 200th issue, but what?
What the fuck is that thing, Philo? Because I like his, he looks like that Paris, like that fucking Pokemon.
Parasect.
No, Paris, the one with the little mushroom sticking
I
off
know.
his back.
Those are...
Well, there's Paris and there's Parasect. I don't remember which one. Is Parasect the little one or the big one?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know off the top of my head. I don't. Pokemans. So before we get into the next issue, I need to note that CMRO credits the writer as Jerry Conway, but actually we have a multiple writer situation.
Okay.
Oh, shit. They did... Is this the first time Thor's done that?
Yes. So Jerry actually only did the prologue and the epilogue, and the meat of this bad boy was actually done by Stan the Man.
Oh no!
Meaning that I was wrong, and we do have another Stan issue.
Still good with ending our season.
My
when
bad,
we
guys. My bad.
So, what you're saying is Stanger could have made a return.
For this one issue, but that would have been a spoiler.
Did. True.
That's fair. That's fair.
So let's go ahead and get into Thor number 200, the special 200th issue. Written by Jerry Conway and Stan Lee. Penciled by John Buscema, inked by John Verpoorten, and lettered by Arthur Simek.
Who is
Arthur.
John Verpoorten?
Harder. We've run into him before.
We have.
Oh, okay.
I remember the name. 100% makes it. Anyway.
It's 10%.
10% John, 20% reporting.
So,
That is such a bad joke.
what's the rest of them?
The rest of it! The other 70%!
He must have one hell of a middle name.
He's got like 5 middle names.
Conveniently all themed to a Fort Minor song.
Okay, I catch my breath.
And then we can focus on how Stan comes back.
On the dark and barren husk of the world beyond, the Norns gather at their twilight well to observe the twisting of fate. Jerry has chosen to name them after the Greek fates instead of using the names that they already have.
Excuse me, Jerry. Hey, Jer, my guy. They
Now,
have names.
The Norns in Norse mythology are definitely kind of an interpretation of the Greek fates, but, like, they can be a separate entity. And, their names, for the record, are Erd, Verdandi, and Skuld, so...
That's the name of the girl gang.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Also, they're not supposed to all be hags, it's supposed to be the maiden, the mother, and the crone, but whatever.
It's a whole age thing.
Yeah.
There's an anime about this if you really want to watch it.
Yeah. Anyway, they're all very concerned about Thor getting his head chopped off. This isn't the fate that was meant for him. One of the sisters casts a spell into the well to show the others what's supposed to happen, as if they don't already know, which they really should.
Nah, it's fine. Fate goddesses don't need to know what's happening.
The well shows us a vision of the far future. I assumed this was the future, I don't actually know when this is happening. But Thor and his companions are racing across the Bifrost to answer Odin's urgent summons. They pass by Heimdall and go straight to the palace, each wondering aloud what this could mean. None of them have any ideas, but Thor feels it can be nothing good.
Well, yeah, nothing good comes of Odin.
Well, I mean, it did start off with beware if this be Ragnarok,
Yeah.
so that's so ominous.
Odin gets a new fit!
Holy shit, he does!
There we go. You guys didn't get anything in the last issue, did you?
I said that!
I got the Warriors 3, bro.
So did I, but beyond that...
They find the Allfather in the garden, because whatever he has to show them needs to be done under an open sky. They kneel before him, but nothing can start until Loki arrives fashionably late.
Wow.
Oh,
Cake.
yeah. Once they're all settled, Odin orders everyone to be silent and listen to the seeress, Vola, tell them about Ragnarok. So this is now a prophecy being told within a prophecy, kind of an inception kind of deal.
Okay.
But a prophecy within a prophecy, but this one may not be real, because this was supposed to happen, but it's not happening. So the prophecy in the prophecy may not be real either.
Well,
we have to go deeper.
What we really need to know is who is making the prophecy about the Norns making a prophecy about Vola making a prophecy. Because
Stan?
then we could untangle the whole thing.
Is it Stan?
I think you could make an argument. From Vola's cauldron comes a mist, which shows the assembled gods a vision of Asgard's future. She says that Ragnarok will start with an endless winter. Which is true, actually. It's called Fimbulwinter, and it's supposed to affect every realm, including ours, so look forward to that.
Mm-hmm.
Seized with fear, the denizens of the Golden City will descend into savagery, fighting each other over what scraps are available. Many will turn to charismatic Loki, feeling that if Odin cannot save them, surely the prince will.
Why? Why would you assume that?
I don't know. Loki's a talker. I mean, I don't buy necessarily that Loki could do anything, but I do buy that Loki might convince people
would
that
say
they're going
they
to
could
do
do
something.
something.
Although I do find it funny that at least someone thinks the Prince of Evil will save them.
Yeah. Back on the first prophecy level, Loki doesn't much like this, and starts assaulting the seer as if that's going to get them anything but a swift punch in the gut. It's unclear whether Loki is actually upset by the idea of them stirring up a rebellion of sorts, or if they're just upset that she blew up his spot. I'd like to think it's a bit of both.
Yeah.
Anyway, Thor runs up and socks Loki. But before it can turn into a scuffle, Odin is like, "Stop fighting before I pull this car around." So they both agree to chill. But internally, Loki swears vengeance for this trespass.
Sibling rivalry!
There you go.
Oh my, it's like his entire lip, he has no lower lip.
I know, it's just nothing.
Fucked.
It's gummy.
I don't have that one.
You guys are gonna have a rough time this episode.
Yeah, I feel like we're, not very tropey these days.
Well, it's just, this is weird.
We are going back and forth between writers.
Yeah.
Mm.
The second prophecy layer resumes, showing Loki gathering an army of Asgard's enemies and marching against the realm. This is also how it happens in the Eddas, so Stan is 2 for 2 here.
Stan, have you been reading...
Beefing up.
Have you been reading your actual,
Been beefing
histories?
up now that you're not writing the fucking book anymore.
Right. The army will march on the Bifrost and meet the ever-vigilant Heimdall first, and he will shatter the bridge with his own blade before sounding the alarm, which he does by blowing the horn that he carries with him, which is called the Gjallar horn.
I've heard of it.
And is supposed to not only muster the troops, so to speak, but also break open the gates of Valhalla so that the fallen warriors can defend Asgard. It doesn't do that in the comics, but that's what it's supposed to do. After that, he goes down in a final blaze of glory. Hearing that Heimdall has fallen, Odin gathers his army and marches to meet the god of evil.
Oh wow, they really killed Heimdall too.
Oh yeah.
Like, that's a very bloody Heimdall.
Thor, of course, will fight for Asgard, as if there was any doubt.
What?
No. For real?
I know, you never could have foreseen that. As everything crumbles around them, Loki rejoices that they will at last become king of all. But what's the point of being king if everyone is dead?
Loki is king of Asgard, but no one cares because they're all dead.
I mean, one could make the argument that no one cares anymore because there's no one to care.
Yep.
Loki and Thor will meet in final battle, but before either is defeated, Midgardsormr appears, and he looks,
Purple.
different.
Very purple, and he has
Arms?
mushrooms on his head.
Is this normal?
No.
I don't feel like this is normal.
No.
Okay, I will take your word on that and
I-
assume that was not. Who does it? Who's not purple?
Well, his design pretty much changes every time he appears, which is annoying. But it usually doesn't look like this.
He
Okay.
usually doesn't have arms. He's a serpent.
Well, sometimes it has arms. But, it usually doesn't have those weird shoulder flaps. Or the weird shaped face.
Gross.
I don't know what the fuck is going on there.
You know, like serpents have.
You know.
The shoulders serpents have.
Yeah. The Midgard serpent is the surest sign of the end times, so Loki takes the hint and fucks off. While Thor stands to face the monster with the Warriors 3 and Balder the Brave at his back.
Got a blast.
Thor strikes at the serpent, but all his power is useless, and he is knocked prone. His friends move to defend him, but don't fare any better.
Shockingly.
Then suddenly Midgardsormr turns from them as it's attacked by another source. Loki, apparently using one of those turrets that they just have for some reason.
Well, Loki, good job using a ancient Asgardian
Turret.
gun emplacement.
Yeah.
You know, a thing that you'd expect Asgard to have.
I mean, there are plenty of times we see the Asgardians with modern weaponry, and it's cool.
But we don't usually see Loki using it.
It seems the trickster has come to their senses and realized that if Ragnarok happens, they can't be king of anything, and has then decided that the best thing to do is to kill the snake. This plan predictably fails, as Midi crushes the turret unceremoniously. Thor awakens and immediately flies back into action, landing on the serpent's
That's
back.
your mightiest weapon?
Yeah, the turret.
You have destroyed my mightiest weapon.
Yep.
Your mightiest weapon, the Asgardian anti-air turret.
Anti-snake turret.
No, I'm pretty sure that thing's just anti-air.
It shoots weasels.
But they're normal sized, so,
It's not very effective.
You just shoot a lot of them. What you need is a machine weasel.
God.
What, you telling me this thing isn't automatic? This is not an automatic weapon? You're on
Automatic weasel turret.
You're on Asgard and your weasel turrets aren't automatic. Why?
Oh my god. Thor lands on the serpent's back and brings Mjolnir down on its head over and over and over, putting every last bit of his power into the blows. He fights to save Asgard, but it's this ferocious battle that signals the end.
Wait, so this was supposed to happen instead of Thor getting decapitated by Pluto?
Yeah.
He wasn't supposed to die here. He was supposed to die here.
Well, yeah.
This seems weird and out of place.
That's how Ragnarok works. What do you want?
I want Stan to go away.
Once all is gone, Surtur will rise to cleanse it all with primordial flame.
Cool.
I remember that in the movie.
Yep. And sometime later, years or centuries, new life will rise from the ashes and Asgard will be born again. So this is actually a reasonably accurate account of Ragnarok, in comparison with the mythology, of course. It touched on all the important bits. There is a more complex series of events leading up to this that we have largely ignored in the comics, and several characters that just don't exist in Marvel at this point.
Okay, so prophecies, and so she brought this prophecy, of course, to the one guy who is going to completely fucking obsess over it.
Oh, don't worry, this is an alternate timeline.
For instance, Stan has made no mention of Fenrir, the giant wolf who will swallow the sun and moon and kill Odin.
Oh.
In fact, Odin wasn't mentioned at all after he took the army to war, so what the fuck?
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. Where was Odin in most of that?
Oh.
Well,
Fenrir got him.
Yeah.
Fenrir, not appearing in this picture, got him.
Not pictured here. Odin bites the big one.
Literally.
The Eddas... well, he gets bitten by the big one.
Yeah.
Really. The Eddas have a much more detailed account of who kills who and in what order.
Well,
It's
I imagine
important.
so.
It's the end of the
Kind
world.
of seems like Viking cup of tea there.
But I think other than one or two major issues, this is serviceable for what they needed.
Which is maybe a first for one of these weird stories by Stan.
Yeah. Returning to the first prophecy layer, the Mists part, and the Asgardians kind of just look at each other, because they've been given a lot to think about.
Yeah, this is a lot to process.
Can Loki be blamed for what hath not yet occurred?
Many of them look to Loki, who is reproachful. Can they really be blamed for something that they haven't even done yet?
Yes.
This is an interesting philosophical quandary, which I was going to make a joke about, except John just did it for me. And not even in a funny way. Anyway.
Oh no. Odin is,
This seems accurate, though, right? This is accurate? Is it Odin being mad about Loki eventually being the one to do Ragnarok?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Oh god, this actually looks...
Odin says, yes, actually, you can be blamed for something you haven't done yet. Which John also said, so it's not funny anymore.
It was funny when I said it, but this panel takes the fun out of it.
Still, the Allfather goes on, though Loki is at fault, as we can all agree, they are only one of many players in a larger game. The cycle of death and rebirth must be upheld, and Ragnarok will occur, regardless of what they all may wish. Knowing this, each Asgardian must grapple with the knowledge of their inevitable doom.
All things end.
And on that somber note, we enter the epilogue. Having witnessed this, the Norns find their decision clear. If that is what must come to pass, then Thor being killed by Pluto would horribly warp the shape of the universe and destiny as we know it. One of the sisters raises her hand and shoots a bolt of force through the vision in the pool. It flies true and strikes Pluto's axe, shattering it into pieces before it can be brought down on the Thunder God's neck. And thus is Thor's untimely death averted in order to preserve his ultimate fate, as only the fates themselves can do.
Huh.
Okay.
That was weird.
It's weird, but I don't hate it.
Nah, I wasn't into it. I mean, like, they did a lot of stuff handled nicely.
It feels
better.
Out of nowhere.
Yes.
It's out of place, for sure.
I have read better
We could have done something more interesting for our
Numbered.
200th issue.
Yes.
Like the 700 issue, which is great.
The 700th issue doesn't exist.
Yeah, you mean the 600th.
600th, blah, blah, blah.
It's okay.
Oh, I was making a joke, but as I said, it just doesn't exist yet.
I'm
we are
at
now.
the 600th.
I fucked up the joke because...
Correct, actually.
I fucked up the joke by being right.
Yes.
Damn it.
So, what would you guys rate that weird issue?
Out of place. Wildly out of place.
Last time 3 was enthusiastic. This is 3, but 3.
If this was somewhere else, what would you think of it?
This could have been an issue without...
If this was back during Stan's run, this would be a high-quality Stan
Yes.
issue.
This would be this is some Stan at his best. I'm not even exaggerating. That's not a joke. This literally is one of Stan's best Thors.
This is... Yeah, that
But
wasn't terrible.
The problem is, it doesn't belong here.
The problem is, what?
Yeah. We get the Vision in a Vision...
Slap in the face.
And,
the Vision in a Vision really annoys me.
Why are we seeing this? I get why they're seeing it, but why do we care?
Not a bad point.
Yeah. I do think it could have been summed up as the Norns being like, oh, he's supposed to die later.
Yeah.
Zap.
There are 2 pages in this entire book that actually matter.
And they're not the ones that Stan did.
Yes. That says a lot about what Stan does.
It's very good for Stan.
But it's actually below...
It's very jarring.
Yeah, which is very on brand for Stan.
Yeah.
I'm still at 3. I guess you've talked me up a little more. I'm at a more confident 3.
I don't know, I'm at a weak 3. Like, the weakest 3 you can get and still be a 3.
Yeah.
Because this is maybe the best Stan Thor I've ever seen.
It was a weak 3, but you guys talked me up, and then I guess
Honestly,
you got talked down.
Honestly, I would give it a 2. Because it is so weird and out of place.
There are 2 panels here that matter.
It completely takes you out of the current story. And
gives you a dream within a dream. And why are we doing this?
Right.
Why does Thor need to be somewhere else where Odin is not dead, so he can be told about Ragnarok, which surely he already knows about?
It's like, and I'm gonna make a reference now that only one of the people at this table will know.
Hang on here.
What?
So we're completely fucking ignoring the fact that Odin's in this vision of the fucking future. That wasn't a problem for the fucking fates? Well. Okay.
I don't know.
Make the reference.
Oh yeah, a reference that only one of the people here will understand. It's like in Bleach.
Oh god.
When you're in the middle of the Hueco Mundo arc, and then it cuts away to some filler bullshit.
You see, this is what you get when you watch the Bleach anime, read the manga.
I did!
Then you don't get pulled away from the Heikomundo arc. It's
But
fine.
I like animes better.
But that anime turns to crap.
It does.
It's so stuffed with filler. There's a year of it.
Look, but that's what this is.
Whatever the most popular thing my weeb friends were on about in high school was the thing I always devoted my brain to learning nothing about, and Bleach was one of those things.
Yeah.
It was Naruto, and it was Bleach, and before that it was Inuyasha.
Yeah.
Oh god, I remember those early anime days.
I don't remember anything else being that much of a woo.
When anime,
those halcyon days.
When anime started to finally reach critical mass.
I don't remember any other anime after that, though, them getting super dweebed about any other one that got real big.
It's because it didn't reach nothing really reached the same critical mass as
you had more choice.
Yep.
How did you guys do on your bingo?
The problem is choice.
I mean,
I got 1 square.
I got 2. I got 2 whole sibling rivalry.
You got 3.
No, from the 2.
Oh, from this issue.
From this issue alone, I got 2.
Ripley got 0 from this issue.
Yeah, I got 1.
Sibling rivalry, and Odin gets a new fit. I got the Warriors 3 Grow It Up from the last one.
The only square I got. I was feeling really good about 14, guys.
God.
I was feeling really good about my bingo card number.
I don't think this is your fault. This was a weird episode.
This is something.
We did just get rid of all the fucking Stan tropes right before this episode.
Yeah. And I enabled you to do it.
You son of a bitch.
We didn't even get... Sif didn't only exist in Moto.
Sif wasn't even there.
Yes.
She was
so how
there.
could she?
She was briefly there.
Yeah.
But she didn't motivate the menfolk. She didn't get captured.
She didn't do fucking anything. She got told to shut up by Hildegard.
Basically.
Ragnarok is coming.
I didn't have Ragnarok is coming either.
Ragnarok is coming. I mean, that was... If there's one point
the title of the issue is something Ragnarok is coming.
Yeah.
So I can...
If this be Ragnarok.
So if I can...
Which is also a title trope that they use a lot. If this be something or other.
They literally had a vision about Ragnarok coming, and Odin was, yeah, we can blame you, Loki, because it's coming. It will happen.
Yeah.
So...
I mean, if you want to say that, then we could arguably say all the time, oh no, Ragnarok is coming.
I know, but this time we had
It's just like a slow oncoming death.
I know, but we don't usually watch
As
it.
we all
We
have.
don't usually have a vision within a vision of Ragnarok.
Just, we're all dying one day at a time.
Yeah.
Ragnarok is coming eventually.
Right.
God. I want to say Odin did a favoritism, but he didn't. No, he just stepped all over Loki because this is the future. You will betray us all.
Odin's favoritism is really favoring going over to sitting on his fucking chair and watching everyone else fight, I guess.
Yeah.
Sit down in his battle lazy boy.
No, I considered giving like an abridged recounting of the mythological version of Ragnarok, but I decided not to because it would be too much work.
I'm going to hate the last time on when we get to Thor again. Because I'm not going to remember what happened in the dream within a dream.
You don't need to.
All
you need to remember is that the Norns were like, it's not supposed to happen this way. Poof.
The Norns were like, you're supposed to die at a different time.
Also,
right.
Also, Odin is supposed to be alive, but don't worry about that. It's fine.
Don't think about it. Don't think about it. It's just fucked up that Thor's dead.
It's just fucked up that Thor might die. Or he's about to die.
In fact, Odin's already dead and we're seeing him in the fucking future. This comic books is fine, actually.
Yeah.
That's totally fine.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Is that it for us this week?
Yeah.
Alright, it sounds like it's going to be it for us this week.
What a weird story.
It was a little strange. I imagine, well, next time we're going to be back with the X-Men where we can finally find out about Moses Magnum's anime collection.
Oh boy.
The man's he wants Japan because he's a weeaboo.
I bet he's watched Bleach.
Yeah, at least he knows about Bleach.
He probably has...
He probably knows more about Bleach than you do.
He probably has a Zangetsu replica.
Of course.
The big one, and the small one.
Of course.
Yeah.
What a nerd. What a nerd. You don't even know what Zangetsu is, you not weeaboo enough to know what anime references are.
Yeah, try insulting me a little better next time. Huh?
Comic book nerd. You American comic book nerd. Exclusive.
See, now you just sound like that really annoying weeb.
Yeah, those really annoying people who try to say that manga is better than American comic books.
Clearly, manga is better than American comic books.
And anime is better than Western animation.
And they're always like, well, the Western comic books are so hard to understand, you don't know where to start. You have to read, 70 years worth of comics. If you want to read a manga, you just start at the first chapter.
I mean... If you're reading comics, you're not even necessarily reading superhero comics.
Right.
Though,
Is every fucking anime Shonen Jump? No.
Although, I will say Marvel is kind of guilty of this one particular problem.
So what?
DC at least
That's
hits the
one thing.
At least DC hits the reset button.
That doesn't make it easier.
So
I can say this as a person who has tried to get into DC Comics. It is not easier.
No, DC makes their shit nearly impenetrable.
Fucking confusing.
They make it nearly impenetrable. Their apps suck. And I complain about Marvel's apps
also,
for this sort of thing.
I'm not. If I want to get into One Piece, which I don't,
Oh,
but if I wanted to get into One Piece,
was one of them. One Piece was one of them.
I'm not gonna start at chapter 1 then when there's like 50,000 chapters.
I mean, that's where you need to start, though. That's the thing. You do kind of need to start.
Well, then I'm not gonna read it.
Oh, yeah, that's why.
I'm not gonna read it in the first place.
Well, that's why One Piece is dead. No, people have decided.
It's not worth it.
It's not worth it.
When I was back with my ex-girlfriend, she tried to get caught back up to One Piece, and I think there was something like 700 episodes or something to watch.
There's now over 1,000.
Oh yeah,
it was probably
my stepdad sent me a text a couple weeks ago. He's like, heard about this anime called One Piece? Was thinking about looking into it, and I'm like, he's like, do you know anything about it? And I'm like, I know that it's long. And he's like, oh yeah, it's got over 50 episodes, right? And I'm like,
yeah.
Yeah.
That's technically true, yes.
Technically, that is technically correct. Try over 1,000.
But yeah. But I told him it was over 1,000, and he's like, no thanks. Not interested.
I mean, you'd have something to put on at bed every fucking night.
Hey, you have...
Every fucking night for the next 2 goddamn years.
I don't understand how you can have over 1,000.
That's right, it's not 700 anymore.
I don't understand how you can have over 1,000 episodes of One Piece. It's always the same thing.
It's been going for over 20 years. That's how you do it.
How many issues of Thor have you fucking read?
A lot. But it's not always the same.
Well, there's
Sometimes
the difference.
Things change.
Well, one of the differences is that One Piece has basically aired every week for the last 20 years.
I can tell you this. I've definitely read less issues of Thor than there are episodes of One Piece.
Again, weekly, Shonen Jump. What you think about how those numbers work?
I'm aware.
I think I might have it beat.
This is...
What?
Issues of X-Men I've read.
That's a lot of issues.
There is a
This is gonna be the episode that we get a bunch of hate mail for because people get really defensive about One Piece.
Well, I think part of it is, like I was saying, it was...
Great job.
You were saying...
Yeah.
As you were saying...
As I was saying, it was... I think for a lot of people in our age group, it was one of those ones that hit at that time, and so it's a nostalgia.
I was never into One Piece.
Thing.
I wasn't into
You're also a little older than us.
I wasn't into One Piece, and I also wasn't into Naruto because I was a weeb, but I was like really pretentious about it.
You were an elitist weeb.
I was like, I like the animes that no one else is talking about.
Hipster.
I mean, okay.
Well, you were in the right time period to be a hipster,
to be fair, I got into Naruto before the anime really hit critical mass.
You liked it before it was popular.
Basically. I was reading the manga when it was literally something you could download off of a website because that's how you had to read manga at the time.
I mean, like, I'm not gonna let you guys sit here and make yourselves look fucking embarrassing and not admit that I was that fucking classic rock kid who was like, I don't understand why they don't make any good music today. Rap is a cancer. Country music is the worst.
Just parroting what you heard from your father.
Well,
exactly.
if it was after if it was after September 11th, then yeah, country music died.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. Every once in a while, I can get really. There's some really stupid bro country.
9/11 killed country music.
Yes, it does. But will I ever not sing Red Solo Cup?
God.
I lift you up.
Stupid.
I know that there was
I literally got one. So.
There was a whole tradition of country that just died because suddenly this became America.
Yeah.
Fuck
it really sucks. You lose all the outlaw country. You lose.
You know what I'm talking about.
I do.
Even I don't know that much about it. But you know this particular
outlaw country,
point.
Storytelling country. That used to be a whole thing. I should not. I'm not even a big country music person.
But I know what you're talking about. I've heard about that.
Johnny Cash, Chris Christopherson.
I mean, it's almost like you don't even have to be in a country to care about that, because it's almost like historical at this point.
It was a part of American music that died because the country changed.
And that's a shame.
It's part of a fascinating development of music from gospel and slave music out in the fields that developed into gospel, developed into blues, which took diverting courses off into country and R&B and soul and
You're welcome, the rest of the world. America gave the world music.
Well, black Americans gave the world
True.
music. Let's not claim things around here.
But as an American, I can say that Europe gave nothing. They gave us nothing.
They gave us harpsichords, and those are pretty cool sounding.
They gave us hurdy-gurdies. Those are cool.
Big ol' organs. I'm into that.
They gave us the Pope and his anime villain chair.
How's that musical? Does it have fucking
Yes,
turntables?
I'm sure there's I'm sure he has battle music.
Pope Francis.
The anime Pope, that's the bitch in Final Fantasy XIV.
Okay. Is that the one that doesn't allow the dragon fucking?
Yeah.
Okay.
We've gotten really off topic.
It's been that kind of week.
I'm into it. Fuck
You
it.
know
We can
what?
just keep talking for another fucking hour.
It's fine, because this episode was a little bit short, so we could just talk shit forever.
It's been that kind of week. Oh.
I lift you up.
Oh, God. No.
Alright, let's close this. If you're watching us on YouTube, please like and subscribe, click the bell button, comment, give us a little bit of interaction. We could really use that. That's the thing we could use more than anything.
Yeah.
Because we want to talk to other people. Not many people listen to our X-Men episodes because no one likes the X-Men. So maybe if we can get
That's
this...
not true. More people listen to the X-Men episodes than they listen to the Thor episodes.
Do they?
Yes.
I thought they didn't. Maybe it's
More...
just... You know what? I bet it's different between YouTube and... I don't look at the YouTube analytics as much. And Buzzsprout.
Yeah.
It seems like we get more downloads on the audio for Thor.
Okay.
I don't know. Whatever. Help us out. Also, if you want to support the show in another way, we do have a Patreon where we put out a bonus-ode every month. We're starting to get a little bit of a back catalog here. We've got the Asthma Monster.
Both
twice.
installments, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We've got our first Super Bowel special.
Yep.
We've got an appearance from Eminem.
Yep.
We got sold some laptops.
Yeah.
And some underwear.
Yep. And we had a holiday special.
We did.
And who knows what we'll have next time.
Who knows what's coming? Well, you know what's coming more than any of us.
I really don't.
All right.
Not yet, I don't.
No one knows what's coming.
I have thought about looking off the beaten path to see if I can't find anything that's not on
Oh my god, to
list.
find your own.
Hey,
Go into the weeds.
with all the many
Wandering
decades
into the
worth
tall
of,
grass.
I am going to find a shiny Pokemon and show it to all of you, and it's going to be a fucking Bidoof. Because no one loves Bidoof. Everyone hates Bidoof.
Bidoof's kind of cute.
Bidoof gets HMs and nothing else.
Bidoof is cute, though. I catch a lot of Pokemon just because they're cute, though. I like cute Pokemon. I have in that bag of stuffed animals a Torchic.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, Torchic turns into something awesome.
Torchic is so cute,
And
though.
Bidoof turns into B-Barrel, and B-Barrel is fucking huge.
I don't even know what B-Barrel looks like.
Is it a barrel of bees?
It's a very uncomfortable looking Bidoof. It's Bidoof, but like 4 feet tall and big.
Lord help us all, we can't get through this fucking we have a Patreon anyway. We have a coffee if you want those few bucks. We're on social media, Tumblr, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, supposedly.
TikTok, Fiverr,
Yeah.
MySpace.
What will we do for $5?
I don't know.
What won't we do for $5?
Yeah. Mastodon.
We're not on most of these platforms. Only the ones I said. The rest of y'all are full of shit.
PayPal?
Join us.
Skillshare.
No! Don't plug Skillshare. We're not getting fucking sponsored. Why are you doing that for free?
No, that means we can say anything we want about Skillshare and how horrible it is and how useless it is and how it doesn't help you with anything. Skillshare, please pay us. I'll change everything I say.
I'm just gonna go back Timmy Turner, Vicky style from Fairly Odd Parents. I'm John and I love Skillshare.
Anyway, review us and give us 5 stars because this is clearly the best podcast you've ever listened to.
Excellent content.
This is fantastic.
Join us over on Discord and tell me if you want a bingo card so you can also suck at bingo.
Just the anime villain Pope.
Anyway, we're going to be back at you next week with the X-Men. Look forward to hearing about Moses Magnum and Wolverine arguing about which manga is better.
The Bleach versus Naruto fight is going to be epic.
Oh, how exciting. I'm so excited. Join us next week for